Vsin, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on Vsin.
Here we go. It is Follow the Money on Vsin, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard. And we are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Very busy, action-packed 3-hour program lined up for you here on this Monday, including the current rules analyst at Fox Sports, Mike Pereira, at on the show in 90 minutes. So much to go over with him from yesterday's action at that time. RJ Choppy, who covers the Cowboys, coming up a little bit later on. And this is a great get today. Daniel Skubal, who was one of the winners here. Their entry won Circa Millions this year. Their record was like 60-26 on the season with 4 pushes. They won $1 million picking games ATS. Why not bring him on and ask him if he has an early Super Bowl pick? So we'll do that coming up a little bit later on in the program, Paulie. And the line is set here, as everybody knows at this point. The Chiefs are 1.5 at most spots. There might be a 2 out there as well. Total around 49.5, maybe a 50 on top of it. And the money line is between Kansas City minus 125 and about $1.30 on the Eagles plus 105 and plus 110. Before we get into the games from yesterday, what do you make of the number?
I asked Jeff Sherman at the Westgate last week if that scenario played out, could we see Philly favored? And it did. Philly was dominant, blew out Washington, looked great, 7 rushing touchdowns. How do you stop Barkley? Hurts was awesome. And then the Chiefs do what the Chiefs do. They don't play that well. They get a huge call that goes their way, and they win a close game again. So maybe the wrong team's favored, but certainly Philadelphia has a better team and a better roster. But it goes back to the nonsense with the officials, and it's 17 straight one-score games they've won.
That's the thing I can't even wrap my head around. It's an all-time record that'll never be matched.
No.
Right? So part of my brain, and I'll tell you, we're watching games yesterday at a sportsbook here in Las Vegas, and we're all like, we all bet. We've been doing this for a long, long time, and we're having that discussion before the game's even kicked off. Like, what do you make the Super Bowl number under these scenarios? And it was before the Eagles, again, were blowing out the Commanders. And we're watching the AFC number move down to like KC -1. Eventually it touched pick. So our thought was, well, if Buffalo right now closes at or near a pick at KC, then they're going to be favored over Philadelphia, if that's the matchup. But on the flip side, on a neutral, I think that also tells you that at minimum, this game should probably be a pick or Philly a small favorite. And it came out like this. And then part of my brain on the other side is saying it's still Patrick Mahomes. So can you possibly make him a dog in a big game like this?
Yeah, 2 years ago, they should have beat him. Hurts did whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
They're up 14-7 before halftime, and he had the big fumble. But Hurts had 300 yards passing and was awesome in that game, and also had the octopus. So you look at it early, it's like, oh, how are they going to contain Barkley? I mean, if you couldn't slow down Cook and Buffalo's rushing attack.
That's exactly right.
What's going to happen here? And now, finally, it was interesting what Hurts said after the game. I played well, but Sirianni finally wasn't conservative and opened it up, which you still got to worry about that relationship that they have. But I'm glad he said it. He was awesome. The 4th down pass to Brown, even though it should have been caught, the 3rd down pass to Goddard, that should have been a touchdown. The passes to Goddard, we talked about, it's so easy, it's always there. Mm-hmm. Stuff to Smith, you got the PI call as well. That's the best A game right there. The defense can do a better job, but they took it away against Washington. But this is a complete team other than the kicker. And when Hurts is playing like that, that's the best team in the NFL.
Yep, I totally agree. Their A game is number 1 in the NFL, especially at this point. They are better than Kansas City, I think, overall, but again, not at quarterback. So, and Mahomes and his history, which we'll get into over the next 3 hours, and you probably are well aware of right now, but it's really uncanny what this guy has done to this point. And also, so in that game yesterday afternoon / last night, right? A lot of discussion about it last night and also into the morning about not having any digital equipment like inside the football. Like, it's 2025 here. What are we doing? I mean, we're just wasting precious time by using old men out there on the field to try to eyeball where the ball was spotted, and then there's like no chain gang measurements, and the guy who's coming from the top of the screen overrules the guy in the bottom of the screen.
Now, how does that happen?
Or vice versa. Right. It doesn't make any sense to me.
That's the most egregious part about it. I don't know what the most egregious part is. Where's the chain gang? Why isn't there a chip in the ball? It's the biggest play of the season. The guy comes in, has a first down for Buffalo, and gets overruled.
And then that's that? And then they go and replay it, and okay, I guess we're going to agree with the original call on the field. There's not enough video evidence.
He got to the 40. He's there.
His body quite clearly got to the 40-yard line.
That's a first down.
So, quick, I'll tie this in. Like, years ago, right, I was calling games for a league called the UFL. Jim Fossil was the head coach. The guy was unbelievable. Great human being, awesome coach. He told a story one time that at the annual, like, coaches and I think GM meeting, like in the offseason, Mike Holmgren stood up amongst everybody in the room, and they were talking about the tuck rule. And he goes, look, if 100 football fans in a room all think the tuck rule was a fumble, then they're probably right, and we should call it a fumble. Like, the tuck rule is stupid, it never should have existed, and we need to change it, get out of the rule books right now. So if 100 football fans right now, randomly selected, think it's idiotic not to have like a chip in the ball, or it's time to put it in. What are we waiting for? You can't eyeball this crap. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, you just can't.
Yep.
So that should have been the final nail in the coffin for this. And then, of course, like you said, there's no chain gang to actually go out there and measure it, which I'm still baffled by. But if we can go back to the play before that, how is it not a bigger deal in the last 18 hours that the pass on third down to Dalton Kincaid, his knee never touched the ground? I personally don't even think it was close. I think it was clearly a first down for Kincaid on 3rd and 3. They ruled him short, and I guess we're just going to move on? And we're not going to go and look at that? There's no replay? We're not going to challenge the spot? Nothing? Mm-hmm. We'll just, I guess, do the stupid tush-push that doesn't work?
I know, right. It goes back to what we talked about last week, again, with the nonsense in the Houston game. And then Adam Schefter tweeted, replay assists will expand to look at the quarterback slides now.
Well, it's about time.
Yeah, it's great, right? So, I'm glad you're fired up. But the other thing, that wasn't a catch by Worthy. That's another one. But for the people, and I was pissed off watching the game, and then it just got worse afterwards with the talking heads. Enjoy the greatness. Embrace this. They're doing it again. He could win another Super Bowl. He's Michael Jordan. No way. No way. This happens every single game. They have won 17 games by one score in a row, and in 12 straight playoff games, the opponent has had more penalties than Kansas City. And once you know it again, it's a close game, a 3-point game, and the biggest play of the game in the season, they get wrong again. Every game this plays out this way. So for the fan bases to be furious, I understand. Now, we can debate, is it a sexy matchup? I think it is, but the Kansas City fatigue, there's reasons for it, and it's because, again, how it played out the last 2 weeks. Make them earn it. They have the best player, the best quarterback. It's absolute nonsense, and it's absurd that every big call goes their way and leads to a victory.
Yeah. Well, I totally disagree. He is Michael Jordan. I'm 100% on board with that thought. And it's just, I will also point out that there are two things here. I'll touch on the Xavier Worthy in a minute. All I've heard so far since yesterday's game was Josh Allen, so good in the game again. That's the MVP. Josh Allen kind of stunk yesterday, and nobody wants to hear it. Okay, if you look at the advanced metrics, Mahomes blew him out of the water with his performance, and nobody wants to bring up his first 2 pass attempts on the first drive. Both should have been picked off. I don't know what he was doing there. Should have had another INT late in the game. And oh, by the way, Buffalo fumbled. People are just conveniently forgetting about this because of fumble luck. They fumbled 4 times yesterday, recovered all of them. Everybody's golden boy, Josh Allen, fumbled 3 times. And the ball bounced right back to him or to a teammate every single time. Did not happen to the Chiefs. They turned the ball over. They lost a fumble, and they got away with it. And for some stupid reason, when the Bills took the lead briefly in the second half, they played that next drive not to lose. They started that drive with 6 straight rushes. I hated the play calling. And there was a long stretch in the second half, I think it went into the fourth quarter, where not one time when Allen dropped back the pass did he throw it past the line of scrimmage. Where are you taking shots at all? Can you be a little bit more aggressive in this game and try to shovel that dirt on the grave for the Chiefs when you had a 22-21 lead? Instead, you got conservative. And where was more James Cook? The Chiefs had no solution for that guy running the football yesterday.
Horrible start. Are you ready to play? You got to be at your best to beat Mahomes. He almost is intercepted twice, and then they go, bam, 90 yards right down the field. It was stealing. Yeah. That's unacceptable, and it's embarrassing.
Totally agree.
I thought they were going to get blown out when it was 29-10. Great comeback. They were horrendous in short yardage. They were horrendous with the quarterback sneak. They were horrendous on 4th down. Terrible. And that's another big reason they lost and blew the game. And you are right. Other than Hollins, where are the shots down the field?
Right.
What are you doing? I mean, Kincaid doesn't get a look. Shakir doesn't get a look down the field. I couldn't believe the game plan, especially what you did a couple years ago with Gabe Davis and how he was Superman.
Right.
Nothing down the field.
I also need to remind people on the Xavier Worthy play, I have the box score right in front of me, and this was a major discussion amongst the people I was watching the game with yesterday as well. you could actually, I think the worst scenario there was for the call on the field to say that Xavier Worthy caught the ball, because then that gave the Chiefs a 1st and goal like at the 3-yard line, and they had the ball with about 3 minutes to play before halftime. There was a defensive holding on Damar Hamlin that people are forgetting about. They declined it. So if that is ruled an INT or an incomplete pass, instead of 3rd and 5 or actually 4th down like you're thinking it is, it's an automatic 1st down at the Bills' 24-yard line. There is a scenario there where the Chiefs melt the entire clock before halftime, score again, and the Bills don't get it to 21-16 before halftime. And people just conveniently think again that should have been an INT or a drop. It would have been 4th down, and they're forgetting about defensive holding. No, that's kind of a big part of the play. Automatically, that was Chiefs' ball, and I would argue that was the worst scenario for the team.
Yeah, very good. But also it goes back to they get every call. I mean, that's still what you said, but that shouldn't have been a catch for Worthy, and then the nonsense at the 40-yard line.
Well, that was that. Then look, go. I implore people to look at the Kincaid catch.
Yeah, very good, very good. I don't understand how that guy gets overruled. I can't believe it.
I know.
How do they have how is this guy's spot way off from this other guy's spot? That's egregious. It can't be that way.
No.
We're live 24/7, Sirius XM channel 158, Vsin, the Sports Betting Network. Whether you're at home, on the road, or on the go, more ways to tune into Vsin. Stream us, Vsin.com, Vsin Watch app, YouTube TV, iHeartRadio, Fire TV, Roku, and now Sirius XM. Great to be back.
Yeah, fired up. Love shows like this. Super Bowl is set, obviously. KC a small favorite. We'll get into, again, wrong team favored, question mark. Could it flip? At least one person in the sportsbook industry thinks that it might. And the exact opposite happened for the Commanders that I just told you about with the Bills. And it ended up killing them throughout the loss. That's coming up next here on Vsin.
Those were wild times. Betting squares for the big game has come a long way.
Now with the Circa Sports app, you can select your Circa squares right at your fingertips.
Everyone's played traditional squares at a big game watch party. Here at Circa Sports, we do it a whole lot better.
Select your own squares and as many as you want.
$1 minimum bet and a $100,000 maximum payout.
And best of all, no more arguing over the squares.
Circa Squares brought to you by Circa Sports, the world's largest sports book at your fingertips.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the Vsin Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's Late Night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the Vsin Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
On the next, a numbers game, Drew Dinsick joins us, whale capper from both the Deep Dive and, of course, NBC Sports Bet the Edge podcast to talk about NFL Championship round and his thoughts on Super Bowl 59 between the Chiefs and the Eagles. Is he playing a side? Is he playing total? Is he playing any props that he's already into? We'll find out. Plus, Will Hill with all of his bets as well. Super Bowl 59 and beyond. It's a numbers game, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, right here at Vsin, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on Vsin.
So how big was the fumble luck overall in the two games yesterday? Bills lost, but again, they fumbled 4 times. They recovered all 4 of them. Josh Allen fumbled 3 times on his own. What was he thinking, by the way, by going over the top on the one short yardage play? Did he think that once he crossed the first down marker, the ball's dead?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You got to hang on to that. You're not in the end zone there.
Yep.
But so the exact opposite happened for Washington, right? They took the opening kickoff, drove 54 yards, 18 plays, settled for a field goal. How demoralizing was it then on defense? Next play, Saquon Barkley,
bam,
touchdown.
Yep, see ya. Right. And then, to do that 7 times is incredible, 60 yards plus. And it worked out with their 4th down luck. Like I tweeted, when is this going to luck run out? And it's just, they go 2 for 2 on that drive. They did settle for 3. But you can't overcome those turnovers.
No, here's exactly what happened then. De'Ami Brown fumbled around midfield. Philly recovered. Barkley scored again 6 plays later. It was 14-3. A minute 44 before halftime. It's 20-12 Philly. Do not give them the ball back under any circumstance. Mm-hmm. What happens? Jeremy McNichols fumbled the kickoff return. Philly scored again 27-12. And then it's 34-23.
We still got a game.
Right?
They're right there.
Philly's leading at that point. They're nearing midfield. The Commanders are. Oops, fumble. Eckler puts it on the turf.
Mm-hmm.
What happened next? Philly recovered. 5 plays later, scored again. 41-23. That was your ball game.
Right. The game also would have been over early if they didn't convert the fake punt. How big was that play?
That was massive.
And what a throw from the punter.
I'd say.
Because if they don't pick that up, they're going to be down 3 scores. But, yeah, -4 in the turnover differential, that'll kill you. The other thing, Lattimore turned out to be horrible at pickup. He got torched by Mike Evans. He was terrible yesterday. He had the PI on 3rd down in the end zone on Smith. A.J. Brown had the touchdown on him. He got the penalty. They didn't convert on the 2-point, but had the 15-yard penalty after that as well. He got torched on the 4th down pass to A.J. Brown. Lattimore was terrible in this game. But you just see how many weapons that they have. And Kellen Moore also did a great job about I can rush it with Hurts. I can throw it to Goddard. I can get it to Brown. And the other thing, shame on Ben Johnson. It was there the whole game. They're 30th against the run for a reason. They can't stop the run.
Killed me watching that yesterday.
I know.
All I could think about was, what was he doing?
I know. It was right there the whole game. Just run it on him. They don't have an answer.
I don't.
Barkley, I can't believe Barkley only had 15 carries. But then it just wouldn't end. And here comes Shipley. He scored 20-1 anytime touchdown.
I wonder if anybody knows, did you see what Shipley paid to score the last touchdown of the game? Because you have to keep this in mind, too.
You're right, yeah.
That he would have been behind Gainwell. And
that's
then
right.
Gainwell got hurt.
Yep. So they tied the record of the 1940 Bears with 7 rushing touchdowns, and both came against Washington. That was the 73-0 game in the title game.
There is, Paulie will run down what happened this weekend in win-lose. That's coming up in a little bit less than 30 minutes from right now. There is a 350-1 parlay that cashed yesterday, and I got to tell you, it was kind of easy. And I can't believe I never thought about it.
Yeah, there's a 560-1 too, which you had to put together yourself, but that's also
true.
out there as well. So,
yep.
It's just, a part of me was like, damn, how did they make it? I know their future's bright, but to be that bad against the run, and certainly the turnovers killed them, but Philly was awesome. And again, that Washington defense was an absolute sieve.
Sure.
And then the highlight might have been the shenanigans at the goal line.
Well, we'll get to that in 1 second.
Yes.
I don't think Detroit stopped in Philadelphia yesterday. If that game is played in Detroit.
Right.
But I also don't know how many times Philadelphia is going to stop the Eagles.
Interesting. Yes, I was disappointed with Philadelphia's defense.
Yeah,
Daniels was great, but you didn't get to the pressure late. And go ahead.
2 straight games.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Stafford lit them up too.
Yeah. Right.
In a blizzard. A blizzard. So that gives me pause for the Super Bowl against Mahomes. It's a much better defense than 2 years ago. But if you have the number 1 defense, you got to do a better job. And certainly Stafford in the second half and what Daniels did for 3 quarters. Yep.
So what do you think of what happened at the goal line then?
Number 1, Pereira's incredible at his job.
My God, he's so good.
Number 2, it's the right call. Number 2, I don't think it's ever been called, and I can't believe it's been on the books since 1942. So the palpably unfair act that it's just over the top, like Jimmy Snuka, over the top. Here we come again, offsides. And then a great job by Hockey to say, hey, this is going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct. And then taking it a step further, I have told Washington that I will award a touchdown here.
Mm-hmm.
This is nuts.
Yeah. So this audio, and we have Mike Pereira coming up at 5:30 Eastern today, live on the show, 2:30 Pacific time, a little bit more than 1 hour from right now. I think he's incredible. I've loved that guy since like day 1 when I saw him in the booth. It also helps so that he's been on the show several times.
3-piece Mike.
Yeah. This was the back and forth. Think about how good Mike Pereira is at his job. He knew this, and then you're right, Hockey Lee knew what was going on as well.
Oh, my God. Mike, how close can they put this ball to the goal line at this point?
Well, interestingly enough, you got a situation here. If these are deliberate, and you heard Sean Hockley say that it could lead to an unsportsmanlike conduct call, it could also lead to awarding a score if it happens multiple times like this. So we'll hear what Sean has to say.
Encroachment, defense number 93. Washington has been advised that at some point the referee can award a score if this type of behavior happens again. For now, it's a replay of second down.
Mike, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, it is to keep this happening. Deliberate acts like that to prevent a score after a warning, even though it's two separate people here, can lead to what is called a palpably unfair act. That's how it's defined in the book. And you can do as a referee whatever you'd actually like to do.
That's why you're the best.
Oh. No kidding. God. That's as good as it gets right there.
Yeah.
Courtesy of Fox.
So was the explanation and what Hockley said. Washington's been advised if this behavior continues, you're in timeout. Go to the corner.
You're going to put you in timeout,
right.
Yeah.
And Mike's right, too, about two different guys. So it is deliberate. You know, jumping over the top twice, and then the other offsides as well. I mean, what, are we going to sit here all day? I mean, that's excellent. Now, the other conundrum becomes, what if they award the touchdown?
Sure.
What if it keeps happening? Well, how do you grade that? What happens?
That's who gets credit for the touchdown.
That's right, yeah. What a mess that would be.
So now there's going to be a sports book that puts this up this weekend.
They better.
For the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Will this rule come into effect? And then how would it be like, again, that's going to be a question for Mike in a little bit more than an hour. Who gets the touchdown then? Is it the quarterback? Is it the team? Can you put a prop up? Will a team score a touchdown, but nobody will be awarded the TD? And can you put it up at like 5,000 to 1? It's never happened before.
Is it kind of like an own goal in hockey? It's the guy who's closest to the player. Like if you shoot it in your own net, someone can help us out. The hockey hardcore guys, but I think they do that in hockey. It's whoever. If it's an own goal, it's closest to the guy closest to the puck, I believe, who shot it in. But this is the guy also could be kicked out of the game. This is awesome.
It is.
This is crazy. The stuff that could happen here. Mm-hmm. So they're acting all kind of cute and like tough guys, and then Hockley's laying down the law, and Pereira beats him to it. It was great, incredible. But the other thing is, what's happened to the tush push? They can't run that anymore.
Well, do you think Kelsey meant anything there at center?
Oh, God. Number one, on that drive, Hurts fumbled on I think it was second down. He fumbled one. And then they couldn't get in. They didn't get in on the 2-point try. They didn't get in on first down.
Yep.
They stopped it a couple times. They didn't push it in until finally Washington just gave up and said no mas on the one there. I mean, I can't trust that play anymore. That used to be automatic. I don't have a lot of confidence in Philly running the tush push on fourth down anymore.
Well, remember 2 years ago on the way to the Super Bowl, it was automatic. Nobody had an answer for it.
Yeah, right.
And I don't think, you like the Mark Andrews push for Baltimore.
No,
that's effective.
Yes.
I think Buffalo needs to completely go to the drawing board this offseason and say, what are we going to do? Because it sucks.
That's right. Buffalo was terrible with it, but more so that's just kind of Allen doing his own thing. But the tush push is broken in Philly.
Yep. So here's another piece of audio from earlier today, the morning show here on Vsin by the book. Dave Ross and our new GM, Mark Dominic, on the program. They brought in Carl Johnson, a longtime bookmaker, oddsmaker as well. He's at the Bowl Rivage MGM. And he actually pointed out that, I don't know, Paulie, maybe the wrong team is favored in the Super Bowl.
This game does have a chance to flip. It would not surprise me at all if you don't see this line flip, because I think Mark said it. The bigger Philadelphia money, that market in Philadelphia, and where Tom and those guys are at Borgata, they're going to be taking some large Philadelphia money. So, and it could swing the market.
Yeah, he's referencing Thomas Gable, who came on this show on Friday. We'll have to bring him on over the next 2 weeks. They are going to get pounded, obviously. What do you say, 55, 60-minute drive from Philadelphia, basically, give or take?
Yeah.
They're going to get pounded by Eagles money over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, interesting. The other thing is people bet what they want to see. Everyone's sick and tired of the Chiefs. So that's another thing. Bet against this guy and let's take him out and let's root against the Chiefs and cash a ticket.
So if the Eagles go off as the favorite, let's say at some point over the next 10 days they turn into a 1.5 point favorite. You can get like even money, maybe plus a couple of pennies on Chiefs money line. You going to bet them?
No.
Oh, you're not? Okay. You'd have Mahomes in pocket at plus money.
Mm-hmm. I know.
How about his running yesterday again?
I know. You have to play that immediately again. It's 28 and a half.
It's unreal.
Right? Now, that is unstoppable. That fourth down play, that's how you do it.
I love it.
That's like Tecmo Bowl, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you had a fourth down in Tecmo Bowl. You just roll the quarterback out. It's like stealing.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. In sports betting and trading, understanding probability, the ultimate game changer. Unlock the secrets of high probability trading with Todd Bubba Horowitz, former floor trader and sports bettor, over 45 years of experience. BubbaTrading.com/Vsin, promo code Vsin500. BubbaTrading.com/Vsin, promo code Vsin500. Gain the edge.
Up next, early Super Bowl props that we like, and let the betting market be your friend. It's been correct most of the time, going back nearly 2 decades. Details on that next.
Sports betting game with Vsin's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to Vsin Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join Vsin, the sports betting network.
This is Vsin, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on Vsin.
Super Bowl props were posted basically as soon as the Chiefs-Bills game ended last night. A ton of them were up. I saw the first book I looked at had Saquon Barkley, his rushing yards number at 114.5 in this game. We'll get to that in a second. Good tweet here from Jason Logan, Covers.com. Reminder that the early line move has been the right side in 12 of the past 17 Super Bowls. The Chiefs opened up -1, 1.5. They moved to 2 some spots against the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Last year, KC opened up +3 or +2.5. It moved to +1. They won 25-22 in overtime. Early movement yesterday on the Chiefs. I don't think they're going to. I can't imagine a scenario where they get up to 2 or beyond 2. And like we just played that cut from Carl Johnson, I think he might be onto something there where at some books it's going to come back down to pick or Eagles might go off as a favorite.
Hope he's right. Yeah. There's some good stuff out there, though. I think I found a good one. Total turnovers in the game, 2.5. The Chiefs had their first turnover in 8 games, right? And Philly in the playoffs, 10 takeaways, no turnovers. So both teams take great care of the ball.
Yeah.
And I have to be 3 turnovers to get me here. I love that. The other one, Kincaid got me good. He got you good. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe Kincaid wasn't a factor, although he still would have gone over. How does he not catch that on 4th down? He's got to make that catch. Yep. And Kelsey did nothing, but KC is horrendous against tight ends. How do they stop Goddard? How does Goddard not get at least 50 yards? He's 46.5. Longest made field goal, Chiefs, $1.10. Come on.
Oh, big fan of
that.
Now,
what is Sirianni doing?
That's already available.
Yes. What is Sirianni doing? This guy scares the hell out of me. How do you try a 54-yard field goal with this guy?
Paulie, I think
was so bad.
I do believe the Eagles are the better team top to bottom, but the coaching edge here is, it's a teeter-totter, and it's one-sided big time here.
Right. But it goes back to how much control does he have? He is the 4th down guy. I love Kellen Moore. I think the Saints should hire him. The Cowboys blew it, and I like Fangio. But with Spags and Reed is specifically against Sirianni, you can't try a 54-yard field goal. No. Both teams to make a 33-yard field goal, $1.10. 2-point conversion is plus 260, and Mahomes is 28.5. So I'm sure he'll have 50, 40 yards. You know what I'd like to find? Will Mahomes lead the Chiefs in rushing yards? Because Pacheco has done nothing, and I think they can contain Hunt. I think the guy, Robinson didn't squat. Daniels led him in rushing. I would like to see Mahomes leading rusher for the Chiefs.
So I'm listening to the boys last night on the drive home, Matt Brown and Mike Somich, right here on Vsin. Their show is called Ready, Set, Bet, and they were doing the postmortem on the 2 games, but also already talking about props. They put me on one early, and it was Kareem Hunt rushing attempts over 10.5 based on what you just said. Pacheco,
God.
Will he even get more?
Be out there.
How many touches will he even get in the Super Bowl, right?
Right. And Somich had it too. Worthy's 5.5. You'll see a carry from Worthy too.
You will get that. Will he get 2? Will he have 3? He was going to have a third one yesterday, but it was called back. He had 16 yards rushing overall. That typically that line, was 3.5 on the game yesterday. It opened 6.5 last night. So, if some books put up like a 3.5 or 4.5, I think you got to bet it over again because he will get a carry in this game, maybe 2. So I did bet. I also looked for Hunt any first touchdown scorer because the Chiefs. That's now 8 games in a row. The Chiefs have scored the first touchdown of the game when the starters play. Right? Hunt, I think, is now the number 1 guy overall. They love giving it to him around the goal line.
Yep, they do.
The first book I looked at was 10-1. Couldn't get down on it. Now he's like 8 plus 850. So whatever. Okay. We got a long time. Maybe other books will open 10 or higher.
Well, the other thing is you always talk about Ben Johnson and his bag. And I think Kellen Moore, by the way, you can bet this at some places. He's plus 250 to be the coach of the Saints. Kellen Moore showing off. How about number of Eagles that get a rushing attempt? He gave it to Goddard late in the game.
That's right.
Goddard, Barkley, Shipley, Gainwell should be okay with the concussion. Hurts. How many guys? Smith maybe. How many guys will have a rushing attempt for Philadelphia?
Well,
that's another one.
I'm glad you brought that up because on that note, Paulie, think about this now. Mixon, divisional round. 18 carries, 88 yards, a touchdown. I had him under 59.5. He was banged up. He was questionable because of the ankle. Chiefs had a pretty good run defense going into that game. He was the highlight of the offense, averaged 5 yards per carry. Cook, where was more James Cook yesterday?
Yeah.
He had 13 carries, 85. He was the best player on the field for Buffalo. 85 yards, 2 touchdowns yesterday.
The touchdown was incredible.
Oh, my God, was that great.
A 4th down and balance act.
KC was 28th in power success allowed on defense in the regular season. 23rd worst stuff rate. But I will point this out because Barkley's longest rush opened up like 24.5. They are second best at the second level and second best in the open field.
Don't care. He's breaking one. He does it every game.
He's going to get a 30-yarder?
He's the ultimate home run hitter, yes.
We're watching the modern-day Barry Sanders here.
Yeah, he only has 15 carries, and that was just, right away, bam, first touchdown. First rush of the game. You got to be on Goddard, right? I mean, Kansas just horrendous against tight ends.
Yeah. Kincaid did nothing yesterday, but also I will tell you that, again, where were the targets overall?
I don't understand
where was
the game
Allen
plan.
looking downfield?
I don't get it. I can't believe they played almost a half of football and everything was at or behind the line of scrimmage.
So the Chiefs allowed the second most passing yards to tight ends during the regular season. So I think it's going to have to be a Goddard day. Philadelphia, they were number 1 overall against tight ends. They allowed 35.7 yards per game to the position. Hello, Travis Kelce, unders again like yesterday. But Ertz, 11 for 104 yesterday.
Oh.
But let's point out, though, right? That was like a 2-score or a double-digit lead pretty much the entire time. Most of the game.
And they were giving it to him, too.
Sure.
They didn't want to get beaten. He was going short on him.
I mean, if you think that Philly's going to be up by that much against KC, then you'd want to bet Kelce over. I don't think they're going to be up by like 2-3 scores in this game because it is the Chiefs. And on top of that, Higbee had 7 for 54 in the divisional round. Kraft had 5 for 26 in the wild card round. So tight ends have been beating him up in the playoffs.
Well, Higbee got knocked out, and then Parkinson came in and scored. Yeah. Maybe Noah Gray anytime touchdown. Everyone can eat.
I'm very concerned about the Chiefs' rushing defense based on Mixon and what Cook did the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
And with that, the Philly offensive line, I know they had some injuries again yesterday, but just with Barkley, at any time, he could turn a 3-yard gain into a 65-yard touchdown.
Plus Hurts. Hurts looked good, too.
He did.
And run that design stuff or just take off. Now, they did have problems with when Washington brought pressure. They had a couple, he running for his life, right? And they got bailed out with the Lattimore PI on one of them. But Spags is going to dial it up. Can they handle it? And I'm concerned about the injury. I'm concerned about they can't do the tush-push. And then the guy, Dickerson, the guy getting hurt, too.
Yeah.
So,
you got
to see how he does. Yeah.
Also,
because Washington got there a couple of times when they brought everyone.
How many times did Chris Jones leave the game yesterday? It looks like because something happened to the eye. He had tears running down his face for 3 or 4 different times. So I'm sure that he's going to be okay for the game. But I know what I said last week, that if we get these two teams, I'm going to walk the dog for 4 hours on Super Bowl Sunday. We're entitled to change our opinions on this. I'm actually super excited for the game.
All right, good for you. It's a great matchup, and it's great we can talk about it for 2 weeks, and there's a lot going. It would have been nice with Buffalo, but it's...
I don't disagree.
Right, no, it's 17-1 when they play their starters against a team that's won 15 of 16. So I know it's a problem probably for the casual fan. The casual fan just tuning in. Oh, what, Kansas City again? Kansas City's always here. The Bills can't win a big game. Oh, Philly's here again. What happened? Would have been nice to see Detroit maybe for casual fan talking. But Philly has the best A game. Philly has the best roster in football. And they've won 15 of 16. One of the losses, remember, they got beat at home with the nonsense against Atlanta, the Monday night game. And then you got a team that's 17-1 when they play everybody. So
this is Mahomes so far in his career. First 7 years since becoming a starter. AFC title game, won the Super Bowl, lost the Super Bowl. AFC title game, won the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl again. He could be, in 7 full seasons, he could have made it to 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Overtime loss to the Patriots at home.
Didn't get the ball.
Overtime loss to the Bengals at home.
Yep.
And they totally screwed up the end of the first half in that game.
And he's passed Montana for second most playoff wins.
Yep. Players to win 4+ championships and 2+ MVP awards before turning 30. This is from on X, Front Office NFL. In the NHL, Gretzky, Howe, LaFleur. Baseball, Berra, DiMaggio, Mantle. NBA, Magic, and Bill Russell. NFL, nobody. Mahomes would be the first player to do so with a win in the Super Bowl. Again, that's 4 titles and 2 MVP awards before turning 30 years old.
Remember, after he won the first one at the Westgate, they put up...
Yeah, that's right.
2.5 for his career? I think it was.
You already cashed the over on that.
Yes, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, God, to go 3-peat. Oh, God. The biggest thing is, and I know a lot of people talked about this, well, Buffalo's got to get this game at home. Or Kansas. It just happened. Kansas City went to Buffalo and then went to Baltimore. and then beat San Francisco. So it's like even you get your chance at home.
Both
and
teams
they were not that good last year, and they still
totally
won.
agree.
Baltimore blew it, and I'm sure Baltimore has to be sick to their stomach watching what happened yesterday and thinking, we could have beat that team. We're better than that team. But you can't turn the ball over.
But also Baltimore had their chances last year at home.
No doubt. That's when Monken lost his mind. Absolutely. Getting ready for Big Game 59. Big deal to match. Save $59 off the Vsin Pro annual subscription. Sign up using promo code FTM. Code FTM. Everything we do, you get lost on the website. The dog videos. It's incredible. All the information. Vsin.com/subscribe. Code FTM.
Win some, lose some. Next, I lost a 90-1 shot that was one away from cashing, but a 350-1 shot that came in. It was actually kind of easy, and a 560-1 shot that cashed as well.
Those were wild times. Betting squares for the big game has come a long way.
Now with the Circa Sports app, you can select your Circa squares right at your fingertips.
Everyone's played traditional squares at a big game watch party. Here at Circa Sports, we do it a whole lot better.
Select your own squares and as many as you want.
A $1 minimum bet and a $100,000 maximum payout.
And best of all, no more arguing over the squares.
Circa Squares brought to you by Circa Sports, the world's largest sports book at your fingertips.
You spoke, we listened. Introducing the all-new Vsin Watch app. Now, you can watch and listen to Vsin expert analysis live wherever you are. Missed a show? No problem. Catch replays of Vsin's full lineup at any time. View highlights sorted by sport. Or use the search feature to find specific teams and topics you're looking for. And the best part? It's free for a limited time. Download the Vsin Watch app today. Available now on the App Store and Google Play. And join us on the Sports Betting Network. last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Start with the NFC title game. Most points scored ever for the Eagles. Barkley first touchdown plus 320. Barkley to have 3 touchdowns plus 850. Hurts to have 3 touchdowns, 18-1. The parlay paid 350-1. Oh, mama. Each guy with the hat trick.
And I got to say this, it was actually kind of easy.
Yeah.
Golly.
I know. There's a couple ones coming up. Daniels and Hurts both to score plus 440 here at Circa. McLaurin and Brown both to score plus 530. Shipley, anytime. Did anyone respond?
I haven't seen anything yet.
Shipley anytime was 20-1. What was last touchdown? I can't believe that. The fact that he's in the game. Most receiving yards, Ertz, 17-1. 2-point conversion plus 280. Will a team score 40 points at DraftKings plus 650? I didn't see 50. I don't know, 15-1, 20-1. Eagles to win by 21 plus 525. Outline, Eagles minus 13.5 plus 240. Over 55.5, alt total plus 245. And a guy put this together, I think it was at FanDuel. $20, paid $11,000. Will every team have a rushing touchdown in each quarter? Excuse me. Will there be a rushing touchdown in each quarter of both games? 560-1. 16-1 and 32-1, and he parlayed them. Oh, my God.
Now, that's just ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah, I had the parlay that paid 90-1.
Right.
Well, every team scored 2 rushing touchdowns. We talked about it last week. There's an angle here.
That's right.
Every team had multiple. I think half the teams went over, like they had 3, 4, well, the 7 yesterday from the Eagles. Commanders got me. They only had 1. You can't sneak in another one late in the game, get blown out.
Can't believe it. I know. You needed McLaurin tackled at the 1.
Yeah.
AFC title game. First touchdown, Hunt, 11-1. Mahomes, touchdown, 5-1. Mahomes, 2 touchdowns, 35-1. Hollins, anytime, plus 650. Samuel, anytime, plus 775. Cook, 2 touchdowns, plus 950. 2-point conversion, plus 285. Will there be a successful 2-point conversion in both games? Yes, plus 850. Huh. Most receiving yards, Worthy, plus 350. For the week, most passing yards, Daniels, 3-1. What a sweat that was. He had like 255. Allen had like 240. Mahomes had 245. And Hurts had like 240, all in the same range. Most rushing yards, Barkley minus 325. Did anyone see it? Ertz had the most receiving yards. I didn't even bother to go down that deep in the list. Oh, if he was 17-1 just in the NFC game, what do you think he was for both? Premier League, Leicester City plus 450. Brentford plus 275. Everton, good job, Meatman, plus 450. Australian Open Women's Final, Keys was 3-1. And English was 90-1 and won the golf tournament. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Mitch sent this in. This is... The pup is excited at the drive-thru to get his pup cup, and he goes through the actual drive-thru, jumps out of the car from the front seat, and goes in the actual establishment to get his treat. It's just not how it's supposed to go. Look at that picture. Okay, I'll just sneak in there, right? Okay, I'll come in. Yeah, maybe I'll fill out an application while I'm here. Incredible. Oh, that's a great one. Lose some. Did you see this? Penn State, they stole Ohio State's defensive coordinator. Knowles is going from the champions. I thought they had all that money. Penn State stole Ohio State's defensive coordinator.
How about that?
I can't believe it.
That's like a sneaky, great move out of them.
It is. One lose some. It's been a while. Here, she stopped filming, and then they started to relax. And he goes, well, okay, why don't you do what you're doing before?
Gordon, don't stop.
We got 3 Huskies here. Here we go. All right, he starts. There's his buddy on the couch. Oh, my God. Oh, hold on. Here comes the other guy in the kitchen. Huh? How you doing? You okay? 3 of them.
That is quite the course.
I know. No, the one on the couch, the one with the dark fur starts it, and the other guy comes. I don't even know where he was. The other guy comes in from the kitchen, and he chimes in.
Jeez.
I mean, that is on 11. That day, they go to 11, those Huskies. Man, that's loud. Incredible. The bad beats. Mitch mentioned one of them. I had, will every team make a field goal? The Eagles scored 55 points, and the numbnuts misses from 54? Like, I can't believe he trotted them out there. What do you think was going to happen?
I know.
Right? They couldn't make a field goal. They had 55 points. How about P. Ryan yards under? Final play.
Final play of the game.
There he is.
Had to have that one.
Had to have it. P. Ryan, no problem. Pick it up.
He barely touched the field yesterday.
Yeah. I never saw him. Did you ever see him?
He was on the field, I think, for one other play that I saw.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
How about these beats in college basketball? This is a moose and a half. This is one of the worst beats I've ever seen. Kansas played Houston. They were laying 1. They were up 6 and at the line with 18 seconds and lost the game. The kid missed both free throws. Houston hit a 3. They got a steal, hit another 3, won in double overtime.
I had Kansas in the game.
Oh.
They also had a 6-point lead with 90 seconds left in regulation, never scored again. And the fashion in which they blew the game in the first overtime, I just was speechless watching it at my house.
Texas A&M, pick them. Up 22 in the second half.
That's probably worse.
Lost to Texas. Campbell, Hofstra, Texas, Southern Alabama, A&M, and the Abilene Christian game. All of them, the under. All of them lose because the game goes to overtime. Ready to try something different? Sign up, start playing the ponies on First Bet, U.S.-based, offers wagering on hundreds of races every day across the country and around the world. Sign up, firstbet.com, promo code VSIN200. Claim a 20% rebate for your first 60 days, up to $200. Head to firstbet.com today. I told Jeff Benson, who works here at Circa, I said, put up a prop. Do Barkley, Mahomes, Hurts, MVP, then go put the field up. Put the big 3 against the field for MVP.
Did you bet Kelsey during the playoffs?
I did.
Much bigger number?
I got 25. Yeah. But who knows? Who knows? What do you have, 2 catches? I couldn't believe it. And then here comes Worthy and little Hopkins and little Hollywood Brown, right? It's like, okay, we're going to take away Kelsey. I couldn't believe Kelsey, non-factor, nothing, and Kincaid does nothing.
I will say that if you like the Chiefs in this game, first of all, I think you might get a better number if you wait. But also, if you like them, I think you pretty much have to bet Mahomes to win the MVP.
You're throwing out what I said last week? Now it's hard to envision a low-scoring game, isn't it?
The guy shows up in every big game imaginable.
Yeah.
It's who he is. It's what he does.
Well, I know what happened last year, but can you really see this being an ugly game? A 19-16 or something? I just think there's too much firepower here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be...
Yeah, and they don't turn the ball over. These teams take care of the ball.
I think the total it's a good number for the total.
Yeah.
To be at where it is right now. But again, I go back to the Houston game. To me, from 2 weeks ago, that would have been clear as day that Travis Kelce should have won the MVP of that game, if that was a Super Bowl, right? But do they give it to the tight end? Or do they just say Mahomes did it again? He gets the benefit, that position gets the benefit of the doubt. I think we had it last week. 33 times the MVP of the Super Bowl has been the quarterback of the winning team? You can already bet, by the way, at some spots, will a player on the losing team win the Super Bowl? I think it's 25-1.
Yeah.
So
that could happen.
What's the scenario there? Barkley goes absolutely crazy.
Barkley has 200
win.
plus, yeah. Maybe Hurts is so bad and turns it over, and it's all Barkley. And Barkley has maybe 200 yards, 250, and they lose a close one. I don't know.
Well, if the game... Oh, let me flip it here. If the NFC title game yesterday was the Super Bowl, who do you give the MVP to? Do you go Hurts or do you go Barkley?
Hurts.
So would I.
Have to. Because he had 250, 240 passing.
That's exact, and 3 touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah.
And I would think, again, 2 years ago, Hurts was that productive against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, he was great.
Does he have that kind of a game in him again this time around? I think if one of those two guys goes off, it's going to be Barkley. He's on a mission, man.
I love that A.J. Brown that showed up, though.
Yeah. You got to love that Dallas Goedert. They were trying to do anything to get him a touchdown in that game yesterday.
I know, yeah.
Anything.
Getting around, I know. Yeah. I could see Goddard. I could see A.J. Brown. they're going to get plenty of opportunities.
Yeah.
And he took the shot deep and hit it too. So, interesting comments. Sirianni let me take the straitjacket off. Wasn't conservative. Okay. Well, I love that kind of Hurts. Hurts look great. Let's throw the ball down the field. Stop with the, protecting them and dink and dunk.
I wonder where I don't know. I'm not a big legacy guy. I know you like it a lot. Where does it go with Mahomes if he wins 3 in a row?
If he wins another one, then he's in Brady, right there with Brady. If he can win 4 in a row. Big
announcement coming up next, and an early look at Super Bowl MVP numbers overall. And we have the most common first quarter landing spots in Super Bowl history.
And we're out.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I need to load funds into my gaming apps.
Stormy,